You be worried if the Chiefs lost?
Yeah, I would for the first time this season, probably in the first time in the Mahomes era, think there's actually a possibility they miss the playoffs. Like I would think they're going to make it still. I wouldn't come on here and say, oh, they're gonna miss. But I would think there's a possibility. And I get it, their schedule isn't that hard going forward. But if they lose this game coming off the bye, when we know Andy Reid is great off the bye, coming off a loss to the Bills where, that was a big game, and Denver has talked all that noise, at least their coach, Sean Payton. It's a division game. If you lose this, it's going to be, you probably won't be able to win the division. Like, with all of that and against an offense that has been anemic with Bo Nix, if they lose this game, Coach, it just would tell me there's no way I can write them in as victor wins over Indianapolis or the Chargers. Now, I think the Chargers, it's hard for me to see them sweeping the Chiefs, but still, you'd have to say the Chargers,
they play
Denver again. So I just think not so much from a mathematical standpoint at 5-5, but from the standpoint of, they're not a lock to win these games against these good teams that they still have left on the schedule. So that would really give me some pause. And again, think they really might miss the playoffs. I wouldn't predict it, but it's possible.
Yeah, this would be a big problem if they lost because they are coming off the bye. Andy does have the success rate that he has. The team has had the week to recover physically. You have a chance as a coaching staff to go back and look at things you did well, things you did poorly, be able to implement some of those things. So you've got all of those advantages going for you. And then you're playing a team where, Nick thinks that they don't even have a quarterback. So
no, I definitely know they have a quarterback. He's just very, very bad.
So you've got the greatest quarterback of all time next to Tom Brady.
Top two, yeah.
Versus a quarterback that Nick feels should probably not be a quarterback. So now you've got that element too. But Denver, you got to give Denver a ton of respect for what they've done. What's this, a 7-game win streak now? So they're on this. They've got the long winning streak. They're finding ways to win, similar to the way the Chiefs found ways to win. It's not always pretty, but they're finding ways to win. And I think Kansas City, no one going into the season would have thought they'd be 5-5 through 10 games. I didn't think that. I'm sure, Nick, you didn't think that either. And I'm sure everybody in that locker room also didn't think that. So some of those insecurities are gonna creep up if you're sitting at 5-5 through 10 games. Now, as long as you still have Patrick Mahomes, anything's possible. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah. Luckily, it's a moot point because there is no chance they lose this football game. I am not guaranteeing a Mahomes masterclass. I am not guaranteeing a blowout. But what I am telling you is this team, I know Colin is racing to say the dynasty is over. We'll see. I mean, I would like to go at least 1 year without them winning the AFC and playing in the Super Bowl before we announce the dynasty is being over. But
I think that's fair.
But we'll see. They're not losing this football game. And I am not going to spend a lot of time worried about how I'll feel if they lose this football game, because I kind of feel like I know how I'm going to feel during this football game, which is the Kansas City Chiefs off a bye with a methodical opening drive to take the lead, the Kansas City Chiefs defense forcing Bo Nix into a quick 3-and-out or 6-and-out, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, it's 10-0 Chiefs, and the Broncos, I know they against.
So they like it.
Well, in theory, that's how they like it. But the teams that they have executed those comebacks against are, except for Philly, bad teams.
Yeah, this is kind of annoying because this isn't the real question, and so to kind of like pull back the curtain a little bit, like you purposely back yourself into a corner with sports questions, because otherwise you're having the same conversations again and again and again, which we already do. What does this mean for the Kansas City Chiefs? Is Josh Allen better than Lamar? Like, we have the same conversations again and again and again and again. And you're just trying to find different ways to have them, different entertainment. There's obviously going to always be new information, new data, all that good stuff. But a lot of times, and First Things First does this a lot, and I appreciate it because you have to. Especially because they throw in questions and have a conversation. Colin is just like, here, we're just talking about this topic. First Things First is definitely very much question-oriented. Worried about the Chiefs if they lose Sunday? What does a victory mean for the Ravens over the Browns? And so you have to stay true to that. You can't just say, well, there's no point even talking about this because I'm not worried they're going to lose. Now, I know they're going to win. And it's like, that's not the question. And I know some of the Kansas City Chiefs fans are going to be like, well, why should we worry about blah, 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 blah. And if the Chiefs win, they're going to be like, see, I told you there was no point in worrying. And it's like, but that's not what sports talk is. That's not what the conversation is. The conversation is, would you be worried if they lose Sunday? And then it's like, have that conversation. If the Chiefs lose, what does that mean? Like kind of how Brew answered. And I disagree with Brew's conclusion and what he's saying about, like, I'd be worried that they don't make the playoffs. Like, I still wouldn't be worried about that because I still have tremendous belief in the Kansas City Chiefs. But if they lost, I would very much be like, well, you lost to a team that you did not, that did not appear to be that good. How they struggled to beat the Jets and the Raiders. Like, essentially what Nick's take is. This Broncos offense hasn't been good. Bo Nix is not that good of a quarterback. This was a gotta have it win. This isn't some game that the Chiefs can just overlook. It's off a bye. The Broncos are legitimately banged up, missing like some huge pieces. Their running back, Patrick Surtain, Davin, like these are like real losses. They're missing at this point like 4 or 5. I know Mims is now playing, but they're missing real pieces. And like I've said in my previous Chiefs video, where it's like when you're a great team, when you're greatly coached, like anytime you're going up against a team of equal or lesser value, if they're a little bit more banged up than you, it's like it should be game over. Like that's all you need. That's all you need. If you just need the slightest bit of an advantage, it's like, okay, good, we're good, we got it, done. Especially if it's going to be coached by Andy Reid and Spags and executed by a Patrick Mahomes. And if you don't do that, you're like, whoa, what the heck's the conclusion here? And if we throw out the whole, well, it's a divisional game, it's like, no, like that can't always be the umbrella that you hide under. I'm like, well, it was a divisional game, and it's like, okay, sure, but and so like that would be something. And if this offense for the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix looks great and they score points, and like Bo Nix isn't a bad quarterback as Nick shows, or if Nick thinks he's a bad quarterback, but that bad quarterback now looks comfortable and hangs 28 points or something, it's like, okay, well, that's concerning then. And then maybe Sean Payton and this Denver Broncos team do understand how to play you pretty well, just like the Buffalo Bills, just like the Philadelphia Eagles. Then there is a sense of like, yeah, okay, we're not kryptonite to that other team. We may be kryptonite to Baltimore. We may be kryptonite to, whoever, Cincinnati, whatever it is, whatever other teams you want to use. But like, I don't know. And make no mistake about it. Stop trying to inflate this and inflame this as if like, the Broncos have been talking trash or Sean Payton has been talking trash. He hasn't. He says he was excited and liked their matchup in the playoffs. Like, that's what a coach is supposed to say. He's supposed to believe that to his core. What is he supposed to say? Oh, boy, I was just hoping that we didn't have to play the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. Like, what are we, like, well, obviously not. And so, yeah, this would be concerning. And so just answer the question, right? Just have the conversation. That's what's fun. That's why we do this. That's why we watch all these videos. That's why we watch the shows, go on YouTube, have the conversations with our friends, go in the comment section. It's like, just have the conversation. Just play the game. It's all a game. Just play the game. Just to be like, and I know that's part of like Nick's whole thing, because the whole thing is he's like, they're not going to lose. There's no point in even talking about it. And now everyone can't wait to watch, because they're like, if the Chiefs win, he's like, I told you. And he drops the banners, confetti, and all that. And if they lose, everyone still comes running, and they're just like, I can't wait to see what Nick has to say. He wouldn't even contemplate them losing. He's saying that Bo Nix is bad. Bo Nix just passed for 310 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the Broncos just won 28-14. What are you going to say now? I mean, whatever it is. And like, that's what's kind of interesting then. Because it is kind of weird to me, because Nick is saying this team is not good. They're not a good team. And it might not be a Patrick Mahomes special, but this team is not good. And Bo Nix is not good. Well, if it's like a close game, it's like, what does that mean then? So I just think at the end of the day, if the Chiefs lose, it's not that I'd be worried, and I'd still have an insane amount of belief and trust and faith in them, but I wouldn't really have as strong of a sense of like, well, listen, in the playoffs, like in the playoffs, if it's the Bills and the Chiefs, I'm still kind of like, well, you know, I mean, you're going to lean towards the Chiefs, right? If it's the Chiefs and the Ravens in the playoffs, the Chiefs and the Colts, the Chiefs and the Patriots, you're still going to be like, well, this is the Kansas City Chiefs. You lose a game to the Broncos, you're like, this team hasn't been playing great. You don't think they're that great. You don't think they're that good. Did the Broncos just prove, no, they actually are great? Did Bo Nix actually prove that he is great? Or did the Chiefs show, we're not as great as we had been in years past? So it is not a guarantee or a confirmation or an easily, confirmation that we are just going to win, find ourselves in the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. Like Brew is taking it too far where he's like, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I would just say you'd feel nowhere near as confident that like, well, this team's going to find themselves in a deep playoff run. And it's like, dude, the playoffs, Mahomes, Andy, Spags, like, come on. They're going to take care of it. You're kind of like, the Texans obviously were really banged up last year and were just not a well-coached and well-run team. But like I going into that game, I had the full confidence. Like the Chiefs are obviously going to win that game, right? They're going up against the Texans, and they've been a mess right now. And at that point, I don't know if they had any actual starting wide receiver at that point. I think all three of them were gone, or at least two of them were. And so it's like, again, like that's enough. You're like, that's enough. Like, of course the Chiefs are going to win this game. But if there was like a repeat of like that level of team, which I don't know who would replace that team right now, maybe the Jags, I don't know, maybe who ironically beat the Chiefs, you would be like, I don't know. Maybe they do come away with the, maybe they do. And again, it's not like you would be betting against the Chiefs, but you would not have that. Like, I really did not see the Texans beating the Chiefs, right? Like last year, I was just like, it's just not going to happen. Like, I just don't see it. And even though there was a lot of hype behind the Bills, and there was a belief that the Bills can win and this could be their year, there was in the sense of like, dude, the Chiefs are just not on the Bills level right now. Like, the Bills are just on a different, like, there was no sense of that. The Chiefs going up against the Eagles, it's like I knew that the Eagles could win, and I kept pushing that against what we were hearing, especially from Nick, but I was never saying what Eagles fans were saying, where they were just like, oh, the Chiefs are not on their level. They have no chance. Like, I wasn't saying that at all, But, you lose Sunday, you lose to the Broncos. It just, that level of strength, that level of invincibility, it continues to take a hit. It continues to take a hit. Patrick Mahomes unable to overcome the Bills, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Eagles. It's just, the Chiefs always felt like they were above everyone else, rightfully so. When you put all these other teams in the bubble, it's like, yeah, all these teams are on the same level, but the Chiefs are, even if it's just a little bit, like they're pushing up. You start losing games like this now, you're just now another team. You're just the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, the Los Angeles Rams. You're like, yeah, it's a great team, great quarterback, great coaching staff, great roster, good offense, good defense. Who has the advantage? You're like, I don't know. Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles. You're just like, they're just great teams. Put them in a basket. Winner take all, man. Winner keeps going, loser goes home. Like, they just feel like they're on equal footing. I think that is what becomes the takeaway more than anything from my viewpoint. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs? Are you worried about the Chiefs if they lose Sunday? I'm going to encourage you guys to actually answer the question and not just be like, well, the Chiefs aren't losing. Listen, if that's your take and that's what you want to share, by all means, but I would still encourage you all to at least just try to answer the question, have fun with it. and unpack it there. Sports talk it's like the foundation of sports talk. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.